The CSU JMC Study Abroad Croatia started with a rafting trip. This included spelunking through the riverside, climbing through a dark cave, and everyone's favorite, cliff diving.
Kool-Aid, right?
The rafting trip ended with a shot of Croatia. The next part of our journey was in Dubrovnik, the home of the filming of Game of Thrones and other famous TV shows. Next, we made our way to the island of Brač. This island is home to the last of Croatia's stone carving schools. It is also one of the locations the U.S. got the stone to build the White House. Our next stop was Plitvice Falls National Park. Here, we walked around for a few hours enjoying the scenery. Later that day, we headed to Zagreb, where our tour guide showed us the ropes, and we got to meet important historical characters.
The form of newspaper that we recognize as this today that we read every day online or in a newspaper creates on the end of 19th century. Before that it was something like pamphlet or Felton or just a couple of words. We have new imperia or we have new king. My character, Maria Juric Zagorka, is one of not just the first female journalist in Croatia and in Europe. She was also one of the creators. Yes, thank you. I work all day, sorry. Of today's newspaper.
The next day, after learning about Croatian history, we visited museums. I visited the Museum of Broken Relationships. And sampled Croatian craft beers. The next day started early, first with a discussion on EU economics, followed by our introduction to broadcast TV at HRT News. Micah and Ashley introduced the program on live TV, while Aaron and I were interviewed for the Voice of Croatia. Then, we saw how radio shows were produced.
About the asparagus. Yes. Three. Check. We are going to explore some archaeological sites, and on our journey we are seeing among many asparagus because it's
So the first time I ever came to Croatia was back in 2009 when I was filming the documentary about Croatia. Since then I have been back 22 times, I think. I sort of lost that areas, and then when we were based here in Zagreb, we have a few
good.
I have a lot of pictures of this guy now. Another early morning brought us to Christian's region, where we were treated to coffee.
Won't you lay me down? Won't you lay me? Won't you lay?
I will make a short introduction about the gym report. So I haven't been here since yesterday.
Really? Have you really here yesterday?
I was moving so much.
First it's a leg.
Learned the proper wine tasting techniques. Will you explain the process of tasting wine?
I'm shaking my wine, spinning it, so that all the sleeping flavors can come out.
Okay, what do you do next?
And then you hold it up to the light and you look at it. And then you tip it to the side and you try not to dump it all out. And then you watch how fast these things drip down. That means something, I'm not sure what it means. And then
Wait, Christian, what does that mean?
That means there's essence, you know, there's this dry essence within wine that is not just water, but all the minerals, all the, we call it the dry stuff, you know.
if it falls slower,
Slower is thicker, so it's less water, more of the minerals and essences of the wine.
okay. And then you put your nose in it. And you smell it. And then you take a sip and you let it fall all over your tongue and keep it in there for a couple seconds so it heats up, and then you swallow it.
We just go quickly, chocolates for one coffee and make a cake and that's
And you make sure you blow out of your nose so you can get the aftertaste.
And sample desserts from a top chef. The next day took a somber turn as we headed to Vukovar to learn the history of the war that split up former Yugoslavia that began in 1991.
That's why the people here at the hospital barely had anything, and barely had water. Water was supplied by the firefighters. If that was possible, all the hospital staff would somewhere across the streets to supply heat and small kitchen for disinfection. This was new.
Won't you lay me down? Won't you lay me?
And also the
Won't you lay me?
But it wasn't only the paramilitary who committed the war crimes, but even the official Yugoslav National Army back then on the side of Serbia, because that pit, the mass tomb later, was dug out with heavy machinery, and paramilitaries didn't have that. So that pit was prepared, and in that night from the 20th to the 21st, these 200 men, women, children and elderly were taken from the concentration camp. Those who were still able to stand, they took them to this side of the pit, because over there you had a machine gun which was firing at them, and as they were shot they were just falling into that pit. That's why today we have that symbol of the pit of death in the Memorial Museum. Some people did retaliate, kinda, and there were a lot of fights in Vukovar every day. Verbal fights, physical fights, shootings, even though the blue helmets, the UN forces were in Vukovar trying to keep the peaceful reintegration peaceful, but they really had a hard time doing that. So there were every day even shootings in town. In 99, 4 bullets were fired at me, so I know what it's like, unfortunately. And after you call the police to tell them about what happened, The question is just whether you got wounded or not. If not, nothing special happened, why did you even call us? So every day there were fights between Croatian and Serbian.
It was truly moving to be in a place that lost so much and has regrown from the ashes to find peace. This trip to Croatia taught me many things. The importance of acceptance, friendship, and love are just a few. I also made friends that I believe will last me a lifetime.
My triceps are weak! This is so easy, we don't have to actually work to swim. I'm just floating down.
Party's over. Bye guys.
2, 1.
Well, Hrvatska. Until next time.
How was that?
What's your average day like here in Croatia? I actually never know what's going to happen until it happens. That's how I live my life. I think it's